My name is Merideth Parrish. I'm 33, and my life story, if I had to sum it up in 3 words, it would be broken, reclaimed, and restored. Life before really knowing and meeting God was broken for me. I was raised by a single mother. She adopted me at only 6 weeks old. But as a child, you don't really understand the magnitude of that selfless gift. And you start to feel like you're unwanted or you're unclaimed. You don't know who you are. My father was nowhere in the picture. He had a family of his own, so even though I was loved so much by a single mother and a community of believers, I never fully felt that I was someone's and that I had value and worth. That translated to bad behavior, rebellion, anger all the time. I had a praying mother who loved me, who stayed in church. God was always a staple in our lives, but we couldn't figure out why I was so angry and so distraught and so broken. During the course of my childhood and my teenage years, I was sexually molested in my church home, which was my place of comfort and solace multiple times. By the time I was in high school, I was pregnant with twins, unmarried, lost, and in a space of brokenness and confusion. I was a bad mother. I left my children alone many times, literally left them alone. I abandoned them so much, and so much so that my mother had to take them on as her own temporarily in her custody just to ensure they were safe and kept well. When I tried to understand who God was and what His purpose was for my life, I came running back to God, and not on any terms of my own. It was like a gentle calling and persistent calling of God's voice, and I slowly tried to understand, and I knew this was not the land that God had promised, and there was something greater God had in store, but I just couldn't see past the brokenness. I became all about self. I wanted to improve self. I wanted to succeed. I was really fat, so I would vigorously pursue things like losing weight and working out. But all these things were of me and in my own device and in my own strength. So I developed an eating disorder. I pursued academics and school and college and work, but none of those things seemed to stick. And then one Sunday at the church I was attending, I met Kristen and Alex Gilpin of Revived Church, and they just blew me away. There was something about this ministry where they were going to come into a community, a neighborhood in Northwest Independence, a neighborhood that had been long seen as the forgotten corner of Kansas City, a place that I was not too far removed from. And my brokenness and my season of kind of being out in the world and trying to find myself and understanding who I was, I knew this neighborhood, I knew these people, I knew these issues, I knew these problems, I had lived them. But they weren't coming like missionaries to come and work and serve and leave. They were coming to stay and do life and live and be with the people and simply just love on people like the hands and feet of Jesus, and they weren't going anywhere, and that blew my mind. I didn't have what it takes to fix me, but I didn't need to. God was going to use me to be a transparent window and an opportunity for me to be emptied out. All the time I had spent trying to amass and identify and understand me, to make me famous, I was going to be poured out. All that brokenness, so that He could be lifted up, and He could fill me so that I could fill and be a light in the lives of others. And it was kingdom work, and I was like, this is it, this is my purpose, and I haven't looked back since. All I can say is get ready, because if you may come along thinking, I'm here to do good work for someone else, I'm going to touch somebody's life, I'm going to impact, I'm going to serve, I'm going to do great. No, those are all good things. But don't be surprised if you meet Jesus along the way in your journey.